Okay. In Mixamo, I have selected 5 animation for my character. I added only 5: walk, run, jump, push, and idle. I downloaded all the animation with my character to my computer, and this is what I received from Mixamo. I received several files. One files represent the character in T-pose, and for each animation I received also another FBX file. One thing to note that the file size for the animation is much smaller than the actual file. That's because this file contains the mesh data and material and texture information, while these files contain some information about the skeleton and the animation only. Now I need to import these files into Unity just by dropping them into my project. I created a folder called Alex and then dropped all the files. Now I need to fix, the first thing is to fix, when you look at your character inside of Unity, you will find it looks very ugly. That's because you need to change the material from transparent to opaque. Unity by default set the material to transparent. Just change it to opaque. Okay, so this is the first thing. So let's delete the character. Let's now change the import settings on the character. On the model, I will keep the scale factor 1 because this is what Mixamo did for me. It works well with Unity. I will generate collider and then hit apply. Everything else seems fine. Then I will go to the rig. I should select humanoid because this is a humanoid character. There are also other options like generic. If you are trying to import an animation that is generic, for example a door animation or a crane animation, you would just select generic. Legacy is the animation that works with a Unity old animation system, so we're not going to use this anymore. So we just keep humanoid and then hit apply. We can also configure our character. Now Unity asks me to save the scene. Before I do that, now I get into the skeleton view of my character. Note here you can select any pawn. So for example, I can select the arm. I can also reposition or repose the character. Unity will give me a warning that the character is no longer in T-pose, but that's fine. I can just revert to the T-pose here. You can see here in the hierarchy, actually you can go through all the pawn of this skeleton. There are plenty of them because we also have fingers. Fingers usually they have a lot of pawns. We can repose the character, but we're not going to do that. I'm just showing you what you can do. Also on the muscles and settings tab, you can also do more with your character. So you can change the pose, animate the character. Actually, you can select many things like the head, for example. As you see, you can go, for example, for the legs alone. So there are plenty of options what you can do, but I'm going to reset all of that. I'm not going to do anything here because I'm really happy with the animation I received from Mixamo. I'm not going to change it. But if you feel that the animation you received is not that interesting, or you would like to add more to it or fix some errors happen, you can do that in this system. The last thing, I will go to animation. Of course I will import the animation, the character, because Mixamo did this for me. I don't need to do any audio clips here, or sorry, any animation clips. Mixamo already cut the animation for me, so this is just one animation. If I try to play the animation, there is nothing because the character is in T-pose here, and there is just one frame from 0 to 1. Also, these green circles means that the current pose on the Y is exactly matching the Y on the last frame. So the first frame Y value is matching the y coordinate on the last frame. That means it's looping, so it gives me green. So this is safe for animation. Another thing here, you'll find that I have checked all bake into pose, and that is I want all the loop animation to be baked into pose. That will solve some problems with the animation, especially if the when the characters start to move. You will notice sometimes it's going into the ground, or it's going higher or lower than the ground level. You can fix that by just bake into pose, and this is what you should do for your animation. Now I don't have this character animation here. The animation actually is stored in this file, so I will go again for the other file. So this is let's go to the walk, for example, the walk clip. I will do exactly the same thing. Generate colliders, humanoid. I don't want to configure it. Animation, I will just see, I will bake into pose. Also loop time, because this is a loop animation, I will check loop animation and I will play it. Here you see the character is moving, and this is a looping animation, so I will check that this is a loop animation. I also bake into pose all the green circle, because into Y the character does not change his Y position between the first frame and the last frame, and the last frame here is 31. So this animation contains 31 frames. On frame 0, the Y match the value on the last one, on 31st frame, but the X and Z, they don't match. This is why Unity gave us a red light here, so it does not match. So I didn't bake that into pose. I will just keep it without. It will cause problem if you baked non-loop. Well, I can't really spell that, but pronounce that very well. Non-loopable. Oh no, it's not like that. It's not safe to import an animation that is not into a loop into Unity. So I will not check bake into pose. Now everything is set up into my character. I need to create a controller. Go to the character here, right click, create, and animator controller. Call it, for example, Alex controller, or animator controller, or whatever name you wish. Double click on it and it will open the animation controller for this character. Now it will start with 2 states, any states and entry. Now to add more states, I will just drag and drop this animation: idle, jump, push, run, and walk. So each of these are just an animation state. I will just arrange them around idle. So this is pushing and jumping. Just make sure that they are in the correct position. So this is running and this is walking. Now my character will start with the idle pose. Okay, let's test that. If I want to go to the scene, okay, let's go back to the scene. Let's bring a terrain into the scene, so my character can find the ground to walk on, and then I will just drag and drop my character here. As you see now, my character should be happy because he has a ground to walk on. Just make sure he is in the correct position. Oh, good. This stop this very quickly. Now what I need to do is to attach the animator controller to my animator on the character, because Unity already created an animator component for us on the character because it has animation. Now it asks me for the controller. I will just drag and drop my character controller. Going back to my character controller, it will start from entry point, go to the idle, and it will remain here. On the idle, if I select this, it will actually play this animation once. If I go to the import setting, if I don't check loop time, it will not play the idle animation anymore. But because I set it to loop, Unity will keep playing it again and again. And let's see that. Oh, I barely can see my character because the camera is too far away. I will show you a trick how to bring the camera inside the game to where you want it to be very quickly. So here in the scene, okay, I will just select main camera, game object, align with view. Now look at the camera, it's aligned. Maybe I should zoom even more, and then again select the camera, game object, align with view. Okay, now I can play and check my idle animation, and as you see, it is actually moving. Okay, now we will need to add some more animation to my character. So if the player is not pressing any key, the character will just stay an idle. But if I press, for example, forward key, it will move to forward or just walk. So in this case, I will create a transition from idle to walking, and back from walk to idle if there is no more animation is applied, or the character release the button. This will happen, this transition should happen with only a condition: if a specific parameter has been set. So I will create some parameter. So the list is empty, so let me just add an integer, and let's call it Alex state, and it's integer. Go back to this transition. I will add on the Alex state, if is it equal to 1. 1 if means walk, 2 running, 3 jump, 4 push, and let's arrange them to match this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So when is it idle, if I set this parameter to 1, it will go to walking. If I set it now back to 0, is equal to 0, it will go back to idle. Okay, let's test that. Of course, if I try to press anything, nothing happens because we didn't create any script. So I will need to create a script file. So I will create C# script and call it Alex controller. Here is my Alex controller. What I need to do, I will write if input dot get key down and key code is dot up, it's the up arrow. If this happens, then I will get the animation component of Alex, anim comp, and I need to define this as a global variable. So I will type animator anim component, and I will make this variable as private. I don't want to see it in the inspector. On the start, I'm just going to get this component, so I will say anim component equal to this dot get component animator. So I need to specify which component I would need to get. So I got the animator controller and the start function, saved it in this variable, and then I can use it here on the update function with every frame. So if this happen, if the key is if the up arrow key is down, I will set integer. Now I need to specify the ID, which was Alex state, if you remember, and the value is 1. Just let me just make sure that this is the correct parameter. Alex state, yes. And I will do the opposite. We'll set it back to 0 when if up arrow is up, is that I released the up key. I'll save that. I will run. Now Alex is in his idle state. If I press up arrow, of course nothing will happen. Why? Because I need to attach my script to the character. So I attach the script to Alex. Now it should be functional. When I added the script to Alex or to my character, now the character should respond to the update function. The update function, I set the animator state to 1. That means the parameter will be 1. It should go to the other state here, and the animator controller, we will see that it's working, and it happens when the parameter is 1. But if I run the game, I press the up arrow key, nothing happens. The character stays on the idle. Why is that? This happens because, let me just bring my animators here, or my animator controller here, so we can see. Let me run again the game. Note that if I the idle animation now is playing. Okay, if I try to move now, it will not move because this animation needs to be completed. If is it not completed, it will not move the other state unless it is completed. To force the animation to move to the next state at any stage, I don't want the character to keep idle because this is infinite operation. So what I need to do when I select the transition, it should not has an exit time. Has exit time means the character will wait on the animation until it ends, then it will do the transition. And when this animation is end, the trigger, which is the up arrow key, already gone. And for the walk as well, I don't want to do has exit any time. Okay, so let's try again. Now my character walks. Okay. Let's just add the main camera to the character here. So it will follow the character. Just give me more space and run. Now the camera is moving with the character. Currently, I can move it forward. I can't move backward or to the sides. And we will continue with the next video to add more animation.